Hey fam, it's me Aaron for a comic show. It's another great week. We got a bunch more of these Marvel Legacy lenticular launches and Metal 3. I am enjoying the hell out of Metal. I love Scott Snyder. Capullo's art's great. It's a love letter to anyone that has been reading all of Scott's stuff, but also people who've been reading DC for a while, because it picks up on Jeff Johns' plot lines. It picks up on plot threads from Grant Morrison, and I think it's accessible if you haven't read any of that as well, because all the villains are more or less new. One had been pulling strings for a while, but we didn't know he was until this. But Metal 3 is where the shit hits the fan. There's a lot of crazy action, and these Dark Knights are I don't know how they're going to beat them. So that's been it's been great. I really liked it. And yes, they have the gimmick of the metal foil cover, but the content delivers, and the gimmick is related. It's foil and it's metal, so cool. There's two Oz-related books, Rebirth. We thought Oz was something to do with the Watchmen, like maybe Ozymandias, but it's not. It's, you know, this is the third issue, and you can see it goes back and forth between Superman and Jor-El. Supposedly, Oz, Mr. Oz, is Superman's father, Jor-El, still alive, and pretty much a nut job. So there's that. It's been pretty weird. It's enjoyable. It's well done. I don't think I like Jor-El being a bad guy. I hope that there's some plot twist at the end, but it's been pretty cool. I've enjoyed Action Comics, and I've enjoyed the Oz Effect and A Lonely Place of Living, Detective. If you're a Tim Drake fan, this is for you. It's Tim Drake and older Tim Drake as Batman from a different timeline, perhaps, definitely from the future. And they're fighting Doomsday, because Doomsday was also captured by Mr. Oz / Jor-El. So you get that, and there is a huge clue to something that fans of Tim Drake would really probably be into. I know I was into, and if you were a fan of Tim Drake's era of the Jeff Johns Titans, you'd be into that. So this issue is cool. If you like Tim Drake, you need it, but it also has a fold into it that has a huge clue for something to come that, you know, I've been talking about a little, but I'm not going to spoil it here. Mr. Miracle 3, look at the Orion cover. It's the face of God. Tom King's been killing it with this book. It opened kind of weird with Scott Free trying to escape life, escape by killing himself. And perhaps that's because he got the anti-life equation stuck in his head. We don't know for sure. That's just some bit of speculation. But the book is weird, and it's cool, and I'm really liking what they're doing with the New Gods. Even Granny Goodness. Somehow he made her awesome in issue 2, a whole different twist on it, a whole different purpose, and I really enjoyed that. Also for DC, Gotham City Garage. This book is really seriously based on the statues. It says, new series based on DC collectible statues. But it's kind of cool. The art's great, and it's kind of what if the women of DC Comics were a biker gang. You know, you have Barda Free, you know, Big Barda, you have Harley Quinn, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, and they're a biker gang. So does that do anything for you? It's a very visual, story, so whether you like that or not, you'll probably either instantly be like, oh, badass, I want this, or eh, but it was kind of cool. And I like that DC has their act together with their Rebirth stuff, and then they do these weird offshoot things that, you know, people can enjoy, a little niche stuff. And then finally, Wildstorm, Michael Cray, he's cray-cray. Yeah, it's co-written by Warren Ellis. He's not the main writer. I really enjoyed it. I've been reading Wildstorm, and the characters from the DC universe are in here, but it's the Wildstorm universe. And the characters that are DC characters are basically the antagonists. And in here, Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, is the villain. And Michael Cray has to kill him. So that was cool. I enjoyed that. And then finally for DC this week, we have the Button hardcover, that storyline with Flash and Batman and the Button and Reverse Flash. And this is all leading into the Doomsday Clock. So it's out. It has a lenticular cover. It's either Flash or Batman based on however you're looking at it. But I like that story. I'm in. I want more. I'm really hoping that Rorschach is still dead because his death was very resonant at the end of Watchmen, obviously. However, what if Rorschach's back as not Rorschach? What if it's the Question impersonating Rorschach? Because why wouldn't he? He impersonates people, and Rorschach was Alan Moore's take on the Question. When he reimagined those characters, it went from there to there. So if that's the case, awesome. We'll see. Okay, the lenticulars for this week. They were fun. You have classic Spider-Man and then a new Spider-Man. So it goes from painted art to regular art. And what I liked about this issue, 789, on the race to issue 800, Dan Slott made it a awesome jumping on point. And if you were reading Spider-Man, it's cool because he's lost everything. If you weren't reading Spider-Man, it's cool because it's a Spider-Man story. The Parker luck, he's down on his luck, and everyone hates him. He's a menace. But now instead of just Spider-Man being a menace, Peter Parker is the menace because his company went under, everyone lost their jobs, bad technology that people invested in, and I guess they lost their stocks and all that stuff, so everyone hates Peter Parker, not just Spider-Man. So I like it. Dan Slott keeps doing new folds and new twists that are different, but still authentically Peter Parker Spider-Man, and I'm digging it. The Despicable Deadpool, this is a lenticular between the first appearance of Punisher and Deadpool, where Deadpool is shooting Cable and Punisher is shooting Spider-Man. Deadpool, we've seen him try to be a hero, we've seen him try to be an X-Men, we've seen him be an Avenger in Uncanny Avengers, and now he's back to just being an assassin for hire. Strife, Cable's evil clone, hires Deadpool, apparently has a marker. If you've seen John Wick, there's a marker, and you take the marker, and you have to kill who they say to kill. And Strife wants his clone Cable killed. And Cable is Wade's friend, but he's got to kill him, so let the wackiness ensue. And it was fun. It was very fun. There's some cool visuals in there. I like where it's going. It's a good Deadpool story. All new Wolverine. It's a lenticular between Daken and Laura, and also Hulk and Thing. And it's all about family. And you think it's going to be about her brother, Wolverine's son, Daken, but yes, he's in it a little, but there's actually another family member that is huge to all new Wolverine X-23 Laura, and I was surprised. It was cool. I like a lot of the premise, what they're doing with these legacies. It seems like the writers came up with what would be kind of the coolest thing we could do with this character? Okay, let's do that. So neat. The Defenders are left in a point where Kingpin is trying to be mayor, so someone else has to be Kingpin. Someone else has to be the Kingpin of crime, and there's different warring criminal bosses. There's Black Cat, there's Diamondback, there's all this nuttiness, and the Defenders are trying to protect the streets, and Jessica Jones hires someone to help out with this, and who she hires is Deadpool, and she instantly regrets it. Now, Deadpool is all nonsense. She has a young baby. She doesn't have time for his nonsense, but she needs him. She's calling in her own favor, her own marker with him, and he shows up wearing a Netflix hoodie. So, I mean, that was kind of cool, but because he breaks the fourth wall and all that little inside stuff. But I'm digging what Bendis is doing with Defenders, and it's a jumping on point. Uncanny Avengers, absolutely a jumping on point. Has Scarlet Witch, evil both ways, taking out the old team, taking out the new team. This book, it's finding its footing with Rogue as a leader. What was great about this issue, it's called Stars and Garters, and it's Beast and Power Man. And what I love about those guys is they bring out the best in each other. Beast is such a mopey, sad sack, he's just all down on himself. He's done so many made so many bad moves recently with mainly Bendis's X-Men, but he's done some things and seen some stuff, and he wouldn't recommend it. And Simon is like, Power Man's like, that's not you. You're fun. You're a genius. You're generous. You have a great heart. You need to bounce back. Let's get back in the action. And Simon, who has been dead for a while, is, you know, not sure where he's going to go with his life and why does he keep dying and coming back. And Beast's like, hey, let's have some fun. And it's the thing where sometimes you have an old friend where you might be at a point in your life where you're mopey, sad sack, life isn't going well. But when you're around that friend, you get right back into that old spot where it's just fun and inside jokes and goofiness. And that's what I enjoyed about that. It's really a fun issue. The Falcon, it's a lenticular between Iron Man and the Falcon. It's Sam is no longer Captain America. He has a sidekick, Patriot, who was the Falcon, and he has a new mission, street level, stopping gang violence and whatnot, and everything goes wrong. So of course it does. The writer is someone that wrote for Netflix Luke Cage, and it was a cool first issue. Gwenpool, this book is so freaking weird. It goes back from Fantastic Four with Dr. Doom and Reed, and Gwenpool with Dr. Doom. Somehow Gwenpool is in the Marvel universe. She was in the real world. She was in her world. She's in the Marvel universe. She knows she's in a comic book. She has some weird powers that affect the panels and borders, and she wants to take out Dr. Doom. So let's see what she's got. It was very silly, but fun. So if you like Squirrel Girl, you'd probably dig it. And finally, X-Men Blue. This is the second part of the Mojoverse story, and it has Longshot. Longshot, my very favorite X-Men. I know he's not really a mutant, but he's been on the team. I love him. I love his mullet. I love his leather jeans. I used to want to be him, and it's a lot of fun. And it has, with Mojoverse, it's just this universe based on just entertainment, reality television for the multiverse. So you have all these different type incarnations of the characters and all the X-Men, and it is just a lot of fun. So a lot of these books are a lot of fun. Marvel, I guess they said do stuff cool, do stuff fun, make people love us again, show people what they like about us, and you know, throw in the gimmick cover too, because why not? Throw everything against the wall, see what sticks. So far, week 2, I've been enjoying a lot of them. Also, a new Star Wars volume, Screaming Citadel, came out this week. And then with the indie books, with Image, The Family Trade, Justin Jordan, Nikki Ryan, Morgan Beam. This book was cool. It has a lot of cats called Toms that are spies for this family. The whole thing is a metaphor for Trump. Let me just get that out, okay? It's not heavy-handed, but it is. It is a metaphor. And you'll see that, you know, 2/3 in, unmistakably. There is a crazy king that wants these ships to go to war. Instead of going to war, the ships decide, hey, let's all circle up and make our own island out of ships. And they built a float. They built a city that floats, and it's a city for trade and all kinds of stuff that trade with America and other places. And there's warring clans, which were the officers of the ships, and then there's the family that kind of keeps the peace, keeps things in line, checks and balances. And then there's this crazy guy that's like Trump, who is just talking mad smack and wants to make the float great again and wants to turn the people against the clans, and that's where we're at. And the cats are cool. So if any of that does anything for you, I thoroughly enjoyed this. And if you're not really wanting anything political, it is not preachy, it is not heavy-handed, it is all metaphor, and I enjoyed it. And then Atomahawk. This is oversized. It's a cool kind of old school tattoo art meets Jack Kirby, basically. And some people have gotten these tattoos, and they're pretty freaking cool. This book was originally, it's Donny Cates, by the way. Donny Cates my man, the guy that did God Country and does Redneck. Love the guy, Baby Teeth, all that. This is a work that he did for heavy metal, probably an anthology, and now it's all collected together like this from Image, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous fun. If you like space riders, you would absolutely love this. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Grant Morrison is promoting it on the cover. If you like anything Donny Cates has done, get it. I really enjoyed it. Also, Rat Queens Volume 4 is out. Finally, the book's back on track, coming out in a timely fashion. And Rick Remender's Low Volume 4 is out. And then the book that I've been enjoying, Albatross Press, written by Brendan Small from Metalocalypse, Deathclock, and Eric Powell from The Goon. And it's this dude that's really famous, has sponsors, has money. He goes around, saves people, fights intergalactic crime and whatnot, but that's not the part of the story where we see him. We see him on his worst day, right as he's getting divorced, right as the judge is giving everything to his ex-wife, and his life is an open toilet bowl now, and his sponsors are leaving him, and he's mentally imbalanced, and go. That's where it is. So I enjoyed the hell out of it. I've been married for 11 years now, but I was divorced and married in the past, so it truly does speak to me. If you've ever been divorced, or if you're currently going through divorce, you need to track down this book. Seriously. Or even just a really bad breakup, where maybe you shared an apartment with someone, and somehow she got all your Sandman hardcovers when you broke up, when you had them from high school before you ever even... Anyway, if you've ever been in a bad relationship, enjoy this book. It's Galacticon, and it's written by Brendan Small. It's created by him with Eric Powell from The Goon. So get it. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.